It's 30 minutes past the hour. Happy 4th of July week to all of you, from all of us here at Daybreak. We're joined this morning by Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl. And Mayor Heigl, happy 4th of July, and it's a special time for our country, isn't it, sir?
Absolutely. Independence Day, our Constitution, everything, it's marvelous. I mean, I think it was 1941 before it even became a national holiday, but we've been celebrating the 4th of July, I guess, ever since 1776 when they signed it. As I recall, I think there was the way I talked about fireworks. Where'd that come from? And then I found out that they fired a cannon 13 times when they signed the Declaration of Independence. And then
How old were you then?
I think I was just turning 11. I think somewhere around the 6th grade, somewhere in there. They taught it to us in school.
We had a fantastic 4th of July celebration here in town, didn't we?
It was great. I mean, what the Chamber of Commerce has done, and Coosa Pines Federal Credit Union, and all these things that went on, the fireworks was outstanding.
So what did you do?
I was the first one to go in there and light the first box. I do that every year. I go over there and I get to light the first box, and then I run.
I bet.
You better believe. But the outstanding, just like the Christmas parade, I mean, people were all over.
There were thousands of people there.
Thousands and thousands of people. And what I really loved, you see those kids out there at Central Park? Here we had a foam machine out there, man, just loving that thing. And then the fire truck, thank goodness, they put up a makeshift splash pad. And they just loved that. And of course, they had slides and other things there, but we can't thank the food trucks and the vendors and all who came out there and supported this.
And then the Sylacauga Beautification Council workers after that.
It came up and cleaned every bit of it up. You couldn't even tell they were there. Did a beautiful job. That's what I love about our community, so many people coming together doing the right thing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I tell you, that's fantastic. And I know you want to take the time, and we haven't talked since those of you who may not know, Mayor Heigl's wife passed away a week or so ago, and our continued condolences to you and your family, and wanted to let you know that we continue to pray for you and uphold you and your family in our thoughts and our prayers. And it's kind of a different world for you right now, isn't it?
It really is. You don't realize that after 50-something years,
Yeah.
But I can't thank the people of Sylacauga, their well wishes and sympathies and everything else. God bless you. I thank you, and I can't thank our Coosa Valley Medical Hospital Center. That staff up there was beautiful. The doctors, they made it so easy for us when we knew the passing was coming, and also even with the mortuaries, how well they helped us. It made everything so. It wasn't comfortable, but it made it a lot easier. And we can't thank those people enough, and all of you who sent your well wishes and sympathy. Thank you so much for all you've done. Thank you.
Let's talk about city council work. Couldn't help but notice, and you touched on it a week or so ago, you were here, about this bond fee and this $222,000. And I was reading this, Sylacauga Day had a great story on this.
Well, they do. They do a very good job of covering everything. Sylacauga Today, they cover it right down to the letter, and they tell it like it is.
Yeah.
They did it last time, when they put the paper out, and they did it this time when they put the paper out. Bonds is money that you borrow. Cities do not much, they're glad to let cities have bonds. They put them out there, and people buy city bonds. That's where they get their money back on it. But the cities know, people who sell bonds to the cities know that they're good for it because they can always raise taxes or whatever they got to do. What you got to pay for every year, bonds. I don't care what else you got out there, you're going to pay that bond payment first. That's going to come first.
So what is this bond fee for?
Well, that's it. They said I don't even know how much it's going to be. They're talking about anywhere from $30 to $50 million. And they said for they say for a community center. I gave them a list of things I felt I needed for the city, which was wanted to $10.8 million. I mean, roads and paving is part of our infrastructure. We've got to have this. I'd like to get it to the point where we're doing this every year. And drainage, we've got to get maybe about not quite half of our drainage issues out of the way. We got a lot more to do in that. That takes money. That's going to be a couple $1 million. There's other things that we need, certain equipment we need. Every building this city owns has to be maintained. That's the library, the city hall, J. Craig. We got a building down there in 3rd Street. We had 2 of them down there. We sold one to the Bluebell. We got the Food World building, which I don't worry about. It's pretty well shot anyway. It's going to take $750,000 or better to fix the roof on it. Should have had Tractor Supply in there some 4 or 5 years ago, but anyway, that's beside the point.
By the way, it's up the road up there.
It is, yeah, but they came and now they're gone. But anyway, it takes money to do these things. I think, I'd love to have a new community center, but they picked out a place there. They haven't even run core samples on that area up there, geological survey. That area needs to be geological survey, just like they did.
So we're a long way away from that, right?
In my opinion, I think we're getting the cart before the horse. I mean, we're borrowing money, and really, I haven't seen well, they gave $1.7 million for engineering and also for architectural drawings of the new building. And we needed to find out, what all's going to go in here. And I know Steve Master, he's doing a great job. He's already laying out what it's going to cost for staffing this building and equipment and other things, I haven't got the full picture. I know they want an indoor pool. They want 2 or 4 basketball courts. I don't know what else. I think that walking track in there. I think they're looking at putting another outdoor pool sometime. I don't think they can do all this at once. They're going to probably do it in pieces.
Why do people, citizens of this city, a lot of them at least, I'm sure not all, but a good majority of people want to know what's going on at City Hall? Why is it that you got $222,000 taxpayer expense for bond fees higher than another firm? Explain that.
2 other firms. Not just
explain
1, 2.
that.
I wish I could explain it. That's what he's going to charge. He feels like he has to, this company feels like they got to have that kind of money to float these bonds. And I think they're going to use some national bank. I like to look at our banks. I like to look at First Bank of Alabama or Renaissance and some of our banks here in the city. See if they can float that kind of money. But this stuff looks like when you hear about it, it's already cut and dried, and it's sort of surprising. But that's what they feel like they got to have. I've signed bonds several years ago. I can't even remember how far back it was. I know I'm old, but not that old. But I've signed bonds before. It's a long, drawn-out process. You got to go. I had to go up there to Birmingham, and I signed and signed. My fingers got sore signing all the paperwork for those bonds that we had. But I think that's when we had interest was up 12–14%, and we did the bonds. We got them back down to about 6 or 7 or 8%. I think that's what the time I signed, redid the bonds, and this will be the first time we go back and look at them again.
But the question is, this is $222,000 higher, according to.
It is. You're going to have to pay it. They want that much. They feel like that's what they're going to have to charge for the services that they're providing.
But why would you do that? Why would the city council do that?
You have to ask the 3 people who voted for it. I don't know.
Well,
what's the justification for it? What's the justification for it now when we really don't even know what it's going to cost?
It looks like from some of the quotes that I'm reading is that it may be a buddy thing here that we've done business with them before. And
well, I don't know nothing about that.
Well, I'm just reading quotes here. But it was a 3-2 vote, and Council President Tiffany Nix, who voted against it, said that Piper Sander is not her choice, but it seems like that they have the majority, so that's how we will go. So you're telling me that we're going to pay $222,000 more money?
Well, I wouldn't say that just yet, but it looks that way. It does look that way. That's the majority of the council. I know Mrs. Heath and Perryman and Fowler, they want to go with him.
I want to read these quotes because it's not me saying it.
Well, I know you know.
Sylacauga Today covers these meetings, and I talked to Ken Brewer about it yesterday, and Councilwoman Laura Heath said she feels comfortable using Walter Lewis as well. Councilman Ashton Fowler said that he would be in support of Walter Lewis and his firm because he has worked with him since he's been on the city council in 2016, and he knows what to expect. He has more recently been with us, and there's been no learning curve coming in with these people. Councilman Lee Perriman, the third of the 3-2 vote, said, quote, I think Walter and Piper Sandler are the only logical choice. We have efficiency built up with them and a lot of knowledge that's inbred in what we're doing. They will make sure we will hit our goals on schedule, and I think Walter will bring a lot of value engineering that is not understood in the other proposals, end of quote.
Isn't that something? Well, I don't know. That's their opinions. That's what you elected them for, to make these decisions. I worked with, it has nothing to do with Walter Lewis or his company. In my opinion, it always has to do with the cost.
Who are the other companies?
Convince me that I need to pay you $200,000 more than I'm going to pay these other two bonds people.
Right.
Tom is with another one. We worked with him. I worked with him years ago, back in the 2009 or 10 when Sam was here. We worked with him with the bonds people in engineering, things like that. And
Fraser Lanier.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I still got the reports there in my office, where we work from them. And they give you a jacket, what all they do and all. And like I said, it has nothing to do with Walter Lewis or his company. It's just need the justification for it.
I can understand having a preference to a company that you've done business with before. Yeah. But you're not talking about chump change here.
Well, no, you're talking about an inflated economy. You're going to talk about, I don't know what the interest on these bonds are going to be. It's going to be about 4.6, 4.8, somewhere in there, what you're going to have to pay as well. And
but $222,000 higher.
Yeah. Well, his part was $12 and some odd cents per $1,000 that we borrowed. And the same thing, the other two say, well, I can borrow that money and handle the bonds for $4, and the other one says $6, that they could handle it for that. And these are reputable people too. I mean, they've been in business in Alabama for years. You know? But I would, the only thing I can tell you to do, I'd like to have the justification for it. I have not signed that resolution that they presented to me last week.
So what can you do? I
don't know. I'm not going to sign it right now. I want the justification to do that. People's got a right to know why they're paying more, $200,000 more for one item than the other two. That's their money. I mean, like I say, it just has to do with the economy, according as far as I'm concerned.
Can they override you?
Oh yeah, yeah. When Chambers King came in here from Montgomery, I vetoed that, and I was informed by the city attorney, well, you can't do that because it's not a permanent project. And I said, well, gosh, I didn't know that, So, but I do disagree with it, and I will not sign it. And because we have architects right here in Sylacauga do the same thing, which they're doing now. And also that was just the fact, that's just the way I believed. I just didn't think it was right to bring them in at that time. But I'd like to use our hometown people first. All right, come here and ask our architects and our engineers to look at this. Can you handle this? They can say yes or no.
Yeah, yeah. And the people that voted for Walter Lewis and company there, the Piper Sandler.
Piper Sandler. Walter's a fine.
These guys, they were hired by the voters, and they know the ins and outs of the city. I'm not saying that I do, but I'm kind of like you. I'd like for you to explain to me why you're doing this.
Yeah, that's the reason I like to understand it. I haven't been explained by anyone. They just told me that. I wasn't there. That's the first meeting I missed in, in 16 years. It was the last time, of course, his wife was passing at that time. And I didn't make the last meeting. But I will be making the one Tuesday night. Yeah. And I don't agree with it. I think the people of Sylacauga need an explanation. Why are you spending this kind of money in an inflated economy and with the interest rates like they are?
You're concerned about this economy, aren't you?
Sure I am. I don't know how this national election is going to come out. I'd just rather wait and borrow money after the national election, unless you can prove to me that the interest rates are going to drop before the national election. But I don't know what our they were talking about even cutting our interest on the feds. We're cutting it a little bit, but they never have done it.
Yeah.
But I just look at money. It's spending money that we need in so many other areas. I want to get to the point where we are proactive. Right now, we're still reacting to too many things. We need to take one step at a time, and let's just get reactive. Like I said, a geological survey needs to be run on that property. I've been here since 1950, and I drove that road, ridden that road, you know, when it was just a 2-lane. I saw some things happening out there. I think they need to really look at it. They did a geological survey, just like they did on the pool. They needed that geological to prove that it had the sinkhole under it and all that stuff, which it didn't. You know, it's all solid right there where the pool is at now. But this other area needs to be looked at as well. And that's going to be a cost. Well, I think it's going to probably be about $9,000 to $10,000 to run a survey of that area where they want to put it.
Right.
But you take a step at a time. You don't just come up here and say, well, I want a community. Say, all right, here it is. We'll call these people in from Montgomery and say, hey, look, what do you want? We got this, we got that, and all that. I said, crying out loud. You look at your population. What size pool do we need to handle the population of Sylacauga? Let's add maybe 5 or 10% to it just for expansion in the future. You know, let's think ahead a little bit.
Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl, our guest this morning, and at City Council meeting, we always tell people it's open to the public, and the people that are city councilmen, we hired them, and so
don't sit back and just let them run with it.
Yeah.
You know, question them, talk to them, call them up. You need to call me up. I'd be glad to talk to you anything. I can tell you the things I want to know myself, and I'm not getting that communication. We do have a better relationship with the president of the council today than we've ever had before. I can say that, you know, because they go over the agendas and everything else for the meeting coming up Tuesday. She comes in there, she talks to our city clerk. They work together. We look at the finances and everything. We lay all this out. And she said, yes, we can put this on, or no, we can't. I said, Mayor, would you put this on? And I say yes or no, you know. It's I mean, we got a great opportunity. We're changing our phone system. Sylacauga's going to change. It's going to save us thousands of dollars every year. And also, our interim police chief, he came across 2 vehicles, Ford F-150s. You know what you can use for police vehicles? I mean, the state's using them now, and now we're going to got a couple. There were 6 of them. I wish we could have gotten all 6 of them, but he had enough money in his budget to go ahead and get those 2 right away. And $118,000 for these 2 fine vehicles that probably would have cost you $200-something thousand. But he made a big savings there. That's what we're trying to do.
you know, people don't realize the wear and tear on these units. You know, they're out there 24/7.
Yeah, well, they are out there 24/7, and I don't know why people would question us why we did it.
Yeah.
The phones, they said, well, you can't do that because phone's not a utility. I said, the heck it ain't. I said, it's a utility until it comes to federal taxes. Then it does not a utility, you know. And the same thing with the car. They question, well, how come you do that, you know? And because we save money. We got a fine vehicle that's going to stand up, and the other vehicles that we were going to get, we're looking at 4 of them from appropriations. We're not going to get those because all that money that was going to put into those vehicles here is all going into one pot for one entity of the city. It's still money going to be in the city, but it won't be with the city departments. It's going to the hospital.
So we have an interim police chief.
Very good man, too. I back him on 100%. What he did with them trucks, I back him 100%. Same thing with the city clerk. When she made the decision that we need to change them phones, I back her 100%. They come and talk to me, they show me what they got and everything else, and we take advantage of it.
So what's the process from interim to police chief, period?
The tests are being put out there now. We have 2 candidates for police chief in-house, and both those gentlemen, well, Rondell Muse is one of them. He's already taken the police chief's test before.
Who is the other one?
The other one is, give me a minute.
All right.
I'll think of it in a minute. It's our captain. Golly, Pete, I went brain dead.
Well, don't do that. Don't do that. But what about from outside?
That won't go outside until the inside is finished.
Okay.
After that, if nobody's chosen from inside, then they will go outside.
Okay.
And that's the way it works with the
Who
city.
makes that decision?
Well, it's the standard procedure. Well, the council will make the decision on who they're going to appoint as police chief.
Okay.
They'll make that. The only thing I did was make a recommendation for him to be interim.
Okay.
And but he's done a wonderful job. Kelly, God bless him, he did a wonderful job too, but a lot of times Kelly was out of town and
Sure.
he had family issues and everything else. And Rondell's the one that stepped in there and got it. And you can look at his record since he's been in there, what he's done
Been here
already.
a long time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's got a lot more years to give to this city. And he's already cleaned up some of the, the fires and all that, and he's got some killers in jail and got them arrested and all that. He's handling it quite well.
Before we go this morning, we had the arsonist with a little fire over there off of...
They got him.
Yeah, and I think he was arrested over the weekend, right?
He was, yeah.
And
they knew basically who he was, But it was in an old not burned out, it was an old cleaners there out there on First Street.
If you first thought of it, you'd think it was in the radio building, but it wasn't in the radio building.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't even there, and it wasn't even that much damage, really.
Yeah.
They got down there, put it out so quickly. It was a gas fire, but they were able to put it out very quickly. And thank God we got all our fire trucks back on line. We're going to get those on a rotation, fixing them on a periodic basis. We're going to stay ahead of these things. Don't let them fail and then fix them. We want to get them fixed ahead of time and pick out the things that are going wrong before they go wrong.
Yeah. We have a lot of homeless people. Transients that come through town and walk through town, and you never know, they could light a cigarette or something like that, or I don't know what this situation was, but
Some are just mean.
Pardon?
Some are just kind of mean.
Yeah, that's true too.
And they just do things, during the cold weather, they get into some of these old vacant houses and they build fires. They build fires inside the Food World building. Yeah, they build fires to keep warm in there, during the winter months. It's hard to deal with these people. I ran across a lady down there at Central Park. I knew she was a street person. I asked her if she was all right. She said, yeah, fine. She said, I'm homeless. I said, well, do you need anything? She said, no, I'm fine.
Yeah.
She's fine.
Most of them are like that. They don't want any help.
No,
they just want to be left alone.
But they do want to be left alone, but we just got to watch these vagrants who can run around at night at 1, 2, or 3 o'clock in the morning to see them. That's the ones I want the police to look for.
Yeah, absolutely. City Council meeting is when?
Tuesday night, starting at 5 o'clock.
Work session at 4, right?
Well,
is that right?
Well, work session's at 5, and the council meeting at 6.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't look close enough to see if they're going to plan on meeting at 4 or 4:30 for anything else or not.
Yeah.
As far as I know, but anyway, the standard schedule is at 5 and the council meeting at 6.
All right, Mayor, always a pleasure. Thanks for coming by this morning.
Well, thank you so much, Jimmy Dale, and happy 4th of July. Y'all be safe out there.
All right, more Daybreak just ahead. Don't go away.